Women deny the biological clock and the wall because they might need to cash in at a later time in the future on a beta male provider. Women are smart, women are capable, and they know what they're doing. So don't always listen to what she's saying, understand what she's doing. So when it comes to the concept of the beta male provider, the reason that many women deny the wall, that deny their biological clock, is because they might need to cash in on that beta male provider at some point in their future. Women know that there's a difference between being 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old. A woman knows her body, she knows her fertility. She knows that 20 is more fertile than 30. 30 loses a lot of fertility. She knows that at 40, only the rare unicorn is going to have a kid, and if they do have a kid, the chances go up drastically of an unhealthy offspring. And she knows that no woman's having a kid at 50. She knows the timeline of how her biological clock goes. She knows what the wall is, even if she doesn't have the words to express that or admit it. She knows what the wall is. She knows what the biological clock is. But the reason that a lot of women deny this is because sometimes they want their cake and eat it too. So they want to have fun or pursue their career or party or do whatever, go from guy to guy, see their options during their 20s and early to mid 30s. And then at some point they want to cash in on, okay, well, now I'm ready to settle down. Now I'm ready for marriage. So if they tell the guy that, oh, well, I have a biological clock and that I'm not what I was before, it might get in the guy's head. Like he might start thinking of other options, or he might start assessing whether he can do better, whether he has a different route he can take. If she can convince him that 30 is the new 20 or 40 is the new 30, then he might not be aware of what's actually going on. She can't just admit that she's past the prime. She can't just admit that there's a biological clock in play. She can't admit that the wall is coming up or that she's hit the wall, because that could limit her options. So from her standpoint and her strategy, it doesn't make any sense for her to let the guy in on that secret. So that's why you got to be very careful of this. They will deny the biological clock. They will deny the wall because at some point in their future, they might need to cash in on that beta male provider who's going to come at the end of her party years, the end of her time of just finding herself, working jobs, partying, seeing different options of guys. She might need to cash in on that guy at the end. He's going to come in and save her, marry her, give her commitment, give her the resources. So she can't really give an honest answer on the biological clock or the wall, because she might need that backup plan. She might need beta male provider at some point in her future. So she's not going to give away all her cards. So you just got to be careful with that. Women are never going to fully accept the wall or the biological clock. They will amongst each other or to themselves or select guys, but they can't give away all their cards because they might need to cash in at some point. As they're getting older and their options are more limited in terms of long-term commitment and also casual hookups, but just in general with men, like their options are going to be more limited as they get older. They can't completely get rid of all their options, so they can't just tell a guy, well, yeah, I do have a biological clock, I do have a wall, because if the guy's aware of that, then he's going to start thinking of things differently. She doesn't want him to think of things differently. She wants him to think 30 is the new 20. She wants him to think 40 is the new 30, or God forbid, 40 is the new 20. She wants him to be in that mentality where a woman can do whatever she wants forever, and that she still got it at 50 in the way that she has it at 20. And women can still be beautiful late into life. It's not to say that they lose value as a human or anything, but just like realistically, if you're not giving me some commitment as a woman during your fertile peak years, and you can reject me, why should I just commit to you now that I'm in a better position? And see, this is how you counteract that too, when women want to call sexism or say that you're hating women or it's misogynistic. It's like, no, let's go down a couple questions. Do you have the option right now to accept or reject me? Do you have the option to look at another guy who has more money or whatever and go with him? And if she's being honest, obviously she's going to say, well, yeah, I do have the choice to be with whoever. Okay, so you have the choice to be with whoever, accept me or reject me for whatever reason. So if I'm working on something that you don't see or comprehend, or you just look over in 4 years, if I'm doing that and I manifest it, why do I just suddenly owe you now? That you're like 30 and, oh, now you see the worth of me, or now you see what I'm doing, so like I just owe you? If you see it, then maybe the 25-year-old girl sees it. Maybe the 20-year-old girl sees it. Why do I need to just go with the one who's 30? So I don't just need to commit. See, but she can't say anything about the biological clock or the wall, because she might need to cash in at some point on that beta male provider guy who's not going to see this stuff, and he's going to take the bait.